Welcome to the weekly poll, guys. Of course, you guys noticed that Benny is not here. Benny is currently under the weather. He's got bronchitis, so because of that, he is not going to be here today. However, you do have myself, and you have Sal, and you have Joel. You know who we are. However, our guest here, you may not know. Introduce yourself, man.
I'm Owen from the channel Owen Likes Comics, and thanks for having me on, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got some really cool topics to talk about, and it'll probably be a good laugh, as always.
Yeah, no question, man. Well said.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I mean, give him a run, like a quick little rundown. Like, what do you do on your channel? What's the whole basis behind it?
We do. It's kind of been changing things up a little bit lately. We kind of do bi-weekly, like case study analysis videos about comic books and pop culture. So we did one a few weeks ago about the possibility of X-Men rebooting the Dark Phoenix saga and the kind of history about that story. And then we do videos kind of like the behind the scenes of comics, and we also do like discussion-based videos talking about movies and comics and TV shows and all that good stuff. It's a good time, I've been told.
Nice. Awesome,
I was
man.
just looking at your channel right now before we got on there. You very good thumbnail design. I'm trying to up my own thumbnail game just recently. I'm like, those are good.
I have a strange relationship with thumbnails. I must have gone back through like 100+ videos and redone all of them at least 3 times.
Oh, dude, thumbnails is how you get them to watch. Like, it's a 50-50
Exactly.
split, man. Half thumbnail, half title. That's how you get people to watch.
A good title and a good thumbnail.
Put the clickbait title in the thumbnail, and then you get double the views. So, hashtag YouTube tips and tricks. Like,
Yeah, don't say you never learned anything watching the weekly poll, everyone.
But anyway, okay. So Joel is our topic man. What are our topics for today, Joel?
Well, Rob, thank you so much for asking. The first big piece of news here is something I'm sure we've all been chomping at the bit to talk about, and that is this week. In fact, it was just yesterday, I think it was, they dropped the new Thor Ragnarok trailer, and how sick was that?
God, it looks
It
good.
is sicker than Benny.
Yeah.
He's pretty sick right now.
Well, it won Sal over, so that means it's got to be good. So.
Oh, yeah, man. Let me tell you something. It was a fantastic trailer, and proof positive that Sony cut that Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, because that thing, it just takes like 2 great things and gives you exactly what you want, but doesn't tell you the whole plot. Like, I could probably, because we've seen enough movies over a lifetime, could piece together what the plot's probably going to be about, but I didn't see a full 2-minute long movie. You know,
It's not spoon feeding you the entire movie like.
It's not like,
certain
so
other
Iron
trailers
Man
do.
is going to have a fight with Spider-Man. He's going to take his suit away, then he's going to have to fight the Vulture with no suit. What's he going to do then? Well, let's show you. Like, no. How about we just show you things you want to see? They do a thing that I got to tell you is so brilliant with it. If you haven't watched the trailer, watch it. But, like, there's a moment where Thor encounters a fellow Avenger, and I'm spoiling it. Like no one has seen the
You're
trailer.
spoiling the trailer, man.
Yeah, but his reaction to seeing him is our reaction to seeing him. Like, you know, you expected him to do something to people to fight him without thinking, but like no, like and I'm like right there with him. Now, the second that like both Thor and I said yes at the same time, I was like, okay, this trailer has caught me. I am their midnight showing. No question.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love that the Thor in this trailer, and I'm going to assume the Thor in this new movie, has become the Thor from those comedy shorts now, where he's just living with a roommate and everything. He's now become that guy.
You could tell Hemsworth is having more fun doing that Thor than like Avengers Age of Ultron Thor, and he's just like doing this.
Yeah. Well, it kind of has like the way he looks has like a Thor the Unworthy vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it definitely looks that way. One of the coolest things that I saw, and I freaked as soon as the trailer dropped. I watched the trailer and hit live on my phone and just jumped on YouTube, and I was fanboying out so bad. But like the hammer breaks, right? Like the hammer gets broken by Hela. My thought is, well, maybe we'll get to see Yarnbjorn. And some people didn't know what that was, and I was like, imagine Thor running around with this giant badass battle axe. Like, imagine that. Like, it would look amazing.
Don't you mean Jabberjorn?
Jabberjorn.
I've wrongly called it forever and ever and refused to stop now.
Oh, man, Jabberjorn. No, dude, it looks amazing.
Wasn't there like some sort of like Infinity War concept art with Thor holding like more of like an axe-based weaponry?
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
We are probably leading down the unworthy Thor route, which is going to be so cool.
Fine by
Crazy to
me.
think he might not get the hammer back at the end of this one. Am I right?
I think not.
I think he's. Yeah, I think he's going to have to stick with something else.
I mean, it does take away like a potential problem because like right now, okay, let's say for example he has the hammer of Thor. Like right now the hammer has been like nigh unstoppable, right? Like Thor throws it at a person and that person is now no longer living. So because of that, it's like, what do you do? The only issue I have with that is if he doesn't have his hammer, I think it takes away from like the gravity of Thanos with the Infinity Stones. Because I mean he'll be doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but like he just literally just takes Thor's hammer away from him, you know, and then just like smashes it on the ground or something like that, or just like crushes it in his hand. Like that would be it almost be as impactful, which I'm hoping it happens. It almost be as impactful as when he like backhands Captain America's shield and it shatters. Like that's what I'm hoping.
That's going to be the big thing. Is like because. In order to demonstrate how powerful Thanos is, it's like it's a no-brainer to say have Thanos just grab Mjolnir and shatter it, and that's how you know that shit's about to go down. But I think you can get the same effect, especially since they drew a lot of attention towards Cap's shield in Civil War, for them to go like Thanos breaks the shield, and that's when you know like not only like is shit going down, but you're also like kind of sad. You know, Mjolnir gets broken, you're like, that sucks, they're screwed. When Cap's shield breaks, you're kind of like, oh, like a part of America died.
You killed patriotism, you bastard.
Yeah. It's like they made a big deal in Civil War when Black Panther scratches the shield. I don't know how people are going to react when it gets shattered into pieces.
Right?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I've been telling people that intermittently, like in different periscopes and stuff like that. They're like, "Do you think Infinity War is going to be good?" I was like, "Let me tell you something, man. If Infinity War is anything like Infinity Gauntlet, people like the average moviegoer has no clue what's about to happen in that movie. like shit's gonna pop off, man. It's gonna get absolutely nuts."
Can I also say too, yet another wonderful instance of Marvel picking the perfect classic rock song to underscore their movie and their trailer. Freaking Zeppelin, man! They got Zeppelin for this.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Which, by the way, I think the use of Grandmaster in place of like the Red King is absolutely genius. It's such a great way because now they don't have to go through like plot points. Now they don't have to like tell the story of how the Red King came to power. It's like, well, he's a Grandmaster. He's an Elder of the Universe, and his whole shindig is he likes to play games. So it's like they're taking a combination of things. Like you have Planet Hulk, you have Thor Ragnarok, you have like Contest of Champions, if you guys remember that. Like you've got all that stuff from way back in the day, all that kind of being blended into one movie. I would dare say I think this is going to be one of the most fun movies that we've seen so far. I think it's going to be less serious, less like dark and drabby. I think it's going to be more fun than anything else, which is awesome.
More cosmic. That's another thing. The other ones were sword and sorcery. This is very much planting its foot in the cosmic side of things. So much to the point, if a Guardian or two were to walk by in this, I could see that.
Well,
It wouldn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
That's something that I love about it as well, is that somebody complained about it. I saw actually a number of complaints where they're like, looks too much like Guardians of the Galaxy. It takes place in space in Marvel. It damn well better look like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's like saying that Empire looked too much like Jedi. Like, yeah, they're all in the same damn universe, you jackass. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, it's colorful and silly, and yeah, the effects I don't think are done yet. I think that couldn't be more apparent than in the scene where we see Loki and Grandmaster on the same couch. And you're like, a couple of those costumes are a little Kirby rough. Like, I see where you're going with that, but you might want to like, I don't know, put a bevel on them or something. But but I am excited. They're not afraid or ashamed of the aesthetic that they've kind of pioneered with Guardians, and I'm loving it. Like I'm down. I love the Guardians of the Galaxyification of Marvel, and I kind of want more of that. Like I want Doctor Strange to feel like that. I want more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Doctor Strange was a great like multiversal building tool, but all Doctor Strange really seemed to do was just say, "Hey, the multiverse exists," and that was it. Like that was all it really seemed to establish in terms of the bigger picture. So,
did you ever think we would get a movie version of Hela where she looks like hell with the big Aku horns? And
she looks
else?
incredible. Oh my God, she looks amazing. Like
she looks a little like a combination of Hela and Enchantress.
Yeah, she does kind of. We haven't really seen Enchantress yet either, which would be interesting if like Enchantress became Hela. Like that'd be interesting. But.
Interesting and good point, because that silhouette moment where you see that helmet, I'm like, yes. And she's walking around with green hair, and I'm like, what?
It's funny we saw Lorelei in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before we saw the Enchantress. How weird is that?
Very weird.
I mean, I can see Enchantress, like, if they ended up going in the direction of they're like, hey, you know, let's have like Jane Foster just pick up the hammer and start running around with it. Like, I could see them doing Enchantress, because it could be like her own villain, which would be pretty cool. The other half of this, and something that I've been thinking about for the longest time, was like Mistress Death. And my thought was, okay, Thanos' like main squeeze, like the one chick he's always trying to get with, is like Mistress Death, and she keeps friend zoning him all the time. And so I was like, all right, are we going to see Mistress Death in Infinity War? Well, then they announced Hela was going to be in Thor 3, and my initial thought was, okay, Hela is an aspect of Mistress Death, like maybe Hela will be the one that ends up taking up the role of Mistress Death in Infinity War. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to, either she's going to be defeated or she's going to be confined to her own realm or whatever it is, but I think we're actually going to see Mistress Death. And I think the reason why Hela's in there is to get us geared up and prepped so that it's easier to digest, like a physical representation of death within the realm of the movies. So I think it'd be a smart move.
Yeah,
so.
that makes sense.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if I agree with that. I want to see death. I want Mistress Death. I want like a beautiful woman in a purple cloak, and then when she like looks at you, she's a freaking skeleton, and it's just pants-crappingly terrifying. Oh, and then she's also a jackass about it. Like, I want that character. But I feel like with Hela's sudden romantic entanglement with Thanos in the Unworthy Thor title, I think that Marvel's trying to get you comfortable with the idea of seeing Thanos and Hela together.
I didn't even think about that. That does make sense.
As much as I'd love to see death in Infinity War, it does feel like it's probably more likely that it'll either be Thanos is obsessed with the notion of death as like more of like a nihilist aspect, or it'll be Hela as like a substitute. But more than that, just the fact that we could see Mistress Death but not see her ever with Deadpool kind of makes me a little bit sad. Because that's...
Yeah, that would be the sad thing is like, I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a post-credit scene in like Deadpool where he's, if Marvel had Deadpool, there'd be a great post-credit scene where like he's on a date and like Thanos busts in and he's like, "What are you doing with my woman?" And it's just like, "Hey man, like she's my woman now." And like that's I'd love
Thanos
to
comes home from a busy day of being a mad titan. "Hello, honey, I'm home." Hangs up his gauntlet on the thing. What?
He sees some like katanas or like hanging where his coat should be. What's this?
Writes itself. Here's another thing before we move on. I wanted to pitch you guys because I wanted to hear what you had to say about this. In the original Norse mythology and very early on in Marvel continuity, Hela was the daughter of Loki. Obviously, it's a Loki that doesn't exist anymore because it was the Loki that the Avengers fought originally. Do you think they're going to play with that in this movie, or do you think they're just going to ignore that? Oh,
Really?
you think they are?
I think they are. I think they're going to do it.
I think they're going to do it to develop Loki, because so far he's the only development he's had is like, I'm the brother of Thor and like I just make life hell on people. Like that's it. Like that's the only thing they've really established with him. He's cool and I love him, but I think if they were going to establish him a little bit more, they would say somewhere along the line there was just some woman that he slept with or something like that, and Hela was the result.
A giantess, in fact. I would love Loki to be like a shitty absentee father, to be like, oh, is this because I missed your softball game or something? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do with Loki, because, okay, I've actually mentioned this a couple times to a few people, and they always forget, and it's like, Loki is impersonating Odin and running Asgard right now. And as we see from the trailer, Asgard is raised, so Loki's a lousy Odin. So the dude doesn't have a lot to do post Asgard's raising. So it'd be great to see, and they love Tom Hiddleston's such a great actor. He's so versatile and fun and great to watch. You want to see him be an absentee father because he's going to do something juicy and great with it.
Well, okay, but see, you assume that Asgard is just being raised to the ground because he's a terrible Odin. But remember, like, he was the one that enlisted, like, Surtur and the giants and, like, invaded Asgard and took it over during Ragnarok. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. If, all this is just kind of like a ruse where it looks like Loki's fighting on behalf of Hela or whatever it is, but, like, actually she takes the place of Surtur and, like, he leads her and an army of giants, so on and so forth, and they invade Asgard, and they do it while Thor is off in this gladiatorial thing fighting against Hulk. Like, I could see that being the case. But
now, can I ask you gentlemen... Oh, God.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, I was moving on, so please.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're so polite here.
Yeah,
I know.
You guys-
What I was going to ask was, what's the timeline of this movie, and do you think this is going to run concurrently with the Civil War timeline?
I think it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Because I think this is literally going to be like Annihilation with Civil War, where it's like, so Civil War happened, and like General Ross's line, like, do you know where Banner or Thor are? And it's like, right now, while you're saying that, Ross, they are having this amazing adventure in Thor Ragnarok. Like, I think it has to be at that time.
yeah, that would make sense. It'd be too weird for it not to. Like, their continuity's too tight knit for it not to. So.
It would be cool for Heimdall to have a thing to be like, hey, Thor, do you see what your buddies are doing down on Earth? Only for them to get attacked at that moment, and he never gets to figure it out.
Well, there's I have no question that there's going to be a scene that's going to be a little, like, a more of a funny version of that awesome moment that Straczynski had with Iron Man and Thor, where Thor lands, and he's like, you got to register, and he's like, I'm registered for no one, bitch. Boosh.
Dude, I love that.
I'm expecting there to be a scene where he's like, hey, everybody, I'm back! I survived the raising of Asgard, I survived, like, Ragnarok itself, the end of everything. Banner and I had some fun, we had some laughs, let's do this. Where's Steve? And Iron Man's like, oh, we're not friends right now because there's a legislation that says that we can't be friends right now. Thor's like, oh, does everyone need a bitch slap right now? Because I'll be happy to oblige.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
missed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least
man.
this time he didn't come home and find a dead clone of himself. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's have them.
I'm glad we never saw that Ragnarok. So
God in heaven. Okay, so do we want to move on to our next topic?
Sure.
Okay, I mean, if you guys want to.
You
So.
guys.
Yeah, it don't matter to me.
Yeah, we could literally talk about Thor forever, so we might as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Thor topics to cover, but you know what? I guess from Thor we can move on over to X-Men. I think we've all talked about this in our own way, either be it on social media. Sal, I know you made a nice video over on ComicPOP about it, but yeah, so X-Men Gold, #1, art controversy. The artist, what was his name again? Sayaf. Apparently he was putting hateful coded messages into X-Men, and the internet found out about it because the internet always finds out about it, you dumbass. What did you hope to accomplish with this?
And then, like a jackass, someone asked him about it on Facebook, and he's like, yeah, I put those there, but don't tell anybody. Like, oh, okay, I'll be sure not to tell anybody, you dumb jackass.
Has this man never seen a computer before? And when I heard about this, my first thing to do is, hop on over to Wikipedia, and I'm like, did he draw anything I like? Oh no, he did some Batgirls I liked, and he did some Aquamans and Superman too. And apparently people are saying he put some coded messages in there too. They're finding out now.
Dude, you want to talk about a guy that literally, dude, that guy's never going to be able to get work in the comic industry. Like, that guy's literally doomed himself. He's going to be answering people's phone or answering, customer service phone lines, for Dell or something like that. By the time it's all said and done, like, guy's gonna be working out in Tennessee, working in customer service.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
Dude, it's going to suck, man.
I think Kirk Busiek said it the best on Twitter when he's like, hey, how to draw yourself out of a career.
Yeah. What a boneheaded thing to do.
Did you see his, farewell letter, which was the most unapologetic, douchey thing I've ever seen?
Oh, yeah.
My career is over. I stand by what I said, and it's I'm not saying anything hateful. I'm just saying blah, and I'm just saying more hateful shit, and fuck you.
Well, if you want to be the guy that pushes all those hot buttons and stuff like that, then go to Image, make your own story, and release a damn thing every 3 months.
Yeah.
It's
Seriously.
not rocket science.
Yeah, you don't need to sabotage an X-Men book to express yourself artistically. Like, why don't you create a Kickstarter page, tell everybody what your plan is, see if there's an audience for your bullshit.
There isn't. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
it's you made a good point there, saying it's one thing for him to have these views, which many people don't agree with, and if he wanted to do that in his own creation, then that'd be a different argument. But it's the fact he's forcing his political agendas subliminally into the art of an X-Men book, which is not only that. Of course, people are going to find out. You're not going to get that unnoticed.
Yeah.
Where in your mind do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point do you think that's what I'm going to do? It's like Colossus's T-shirt is going to have hateful messages on it. Of course, someone's going to go, "What does that mean?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was some kid in Indonesia that found out what it was this kid in Indonesia that asked him about it, and that's when the whole thing blew up. We're just like,
some fans posted me to their Reddit thing. So once again, Reddit strikes again and proves to be a force for. Apparently, the Reddit detectives will get to the bottom of everything. We should be using these guys to solve murders because, like, the day of, they were on that shit and had it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's see that's kind of the biggest issue too. Is like for me, like it is causing problems where there shouldn't be any. Like just simply for Marvel. Like I'll harp and I'll rant about Marvel low sales and so on and so forth because that's Marvel's own doing. That's Marvel editorial saying we're going to release certain kinds of stories. People don't like them. Their sales tank. It's another thing for somebody to come along and to say I'm going to inject something in here that's going to give the entire company a bad name. Because what it does is it says, you know, this like for people that wouldn't normally go read this and were considering it. Well, now they see X-Men Gold is a book that's all about like racism and stuff. You know, and so now they're not going to go check it out. I mean, sure, the context of the situation, you know, is a little bit different if you read into it, but who says they're going to? They're going to see a headline and then call it a day, and then suddenly sales are dropping off of that. So it's artificially decreasing sales for that book.
It's more egg on their face in a time when they really did not need more egg on their face right now. This is basically kicking them while they're down. And another good article someone wrote, G. Willow Wilson, of course, the writer of Miss Marvel and everything, she took the dude to task using actual, like, you know, scripture and everything, too. And she's like, now let me tell you why this guy's a shit heel in my own words, in my own religion. So that was a nice touch, I felt.
Yeah, yeah it's... I mean, that's. I mean, that being said, X-Men Gold #1 wasn't even that good anyway. So I mean, it's not like it was. It's not like it was a huge loss.
The book was kind of a dud, and the art ain't that great. So don't bother it. But like, you know what? This is a speculator's market. I hear that it's like, I hear it's really selling well because people are like, ooh, I could buy it and sell it on eBay for $20, $30. I'm like.
Yeah.
Because comics rarely do get recalled. It's a big deal when shit like this goes down. They can be some serious collector's items.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and imagine, like, if you're one of the... Do what?
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I was just saying, you're in a digital age, man. If it was published digitally, it's forever. You never have to worry about that. You don't have to buy a physical copy anymore. It's here forever. You Google image search X-Men and dickhead bullshit message, and... And it forever. It's just going to be there. Like, you never have to buy that issue. You can find the thing we're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's disappointing. I mean,
remember the more wholesome age when artists just drew subliminal dicks in the background? Just can't we go back
whatever
to the
happened to that time?
Kid-friendly days?
Whatever happened to the dicks, guys?
Yeah, whatever happened to the time?
Where did all the
like,
dicks go?
You'd have like penises in Wolverine's hair. Like whatever happened, you know, to that era of artistry. I miss that era. I miss, you know, angry artists just drawing small, not being racist, just like small little things. You know, like just petty. That's exactly
like those Disney guys who put Playboy covers in the background of the Rescuers because they were so angry and pissed off. So like, we're gonna do this now.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Less using comics as a megaphone for your own personal hatreds. More dicks in the background. Right?
I mean, honestly, it would have been funny. Like, if that had happened, if somebody was just like, oh my god, I just spotted a penis in X-Men Gold #1, I'd be like, that's awesome.
And Marvel would have to pretend to be outraged. They'd be like, this is unacceptable.
It's like, no, there's a penis. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Another weird thing about Marvel in this controversy, too, is that when it all came out, they're like, oh, well, we're aware of it, and he will be punished accordingly. They didn't say he'd be fired right away. And I don't know what that says about Marvel currently, where they're like, well, we gotta weigh our options in PR right now. We don't know if firing him would be better or worse. We gotta consult a bunch of people on this one. But I think fans unanimously are like, no, you can fire him, though.
No, it's cool, man. Let him go.
Yeah.
I think that it was more like Marvel was probably thinking to themselves, like, all right, so we fire him. How many artists do we have left?
No, see, now it'd be different, though, because one, like, they already pissed off so many other artists, but it'd be different if it was like a writer that wrote a story like that, because then they'd really be screwed. But with an artist, I mean, they can grab artists from almost anywhere. It's writing good stories that are kind of the difficult thing to do, I think, like doing it consistently. That being said, I mean, the guy's art wasn't that great anyway, so it's not like it's a huge loss. It's not like, you know, we just lost some of the best artistry in the history of comics, and now the stories are just that much worse because of it. I mean, that guy won't really be missed. I didn't even know who he was until the damn story came out. So I was like, whatever.
I've seen his art, but I didn't know his name. That's the thing. Like, I just,
Yeah.
Apparently he's solicited for at least issue 2. That's probably going to change. I don't know if they're going to redraw the entire comic.
No, they're releasing.
They're going to have to. They're releasing
no, they
it?
said. I think the official statement from Marvel is he's done 2 issues. They've already gone to print, and so he's just going to be on it. Like he drew them, but he was going to be rotating out with a couple of other artists.
Lashley was one of the other ones.
Lashley is going to just take over for a couple of books, and the other guy. They had 2 other backups, and those backups are working faster than ever before.
Oh, okay.
I like Lashley. Good on him for getting more work. I enjoy his style.
Okay, yeah. My thought was like, I was like, Marvel's going to keep this guy on? Like, why would you do that, Marvel? Like,
it's a PR disaster.
Yeah.
It's like, he's got to go.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to be annoyed about them firing the guy.
Yeah.
No. The dude's got to go. It's simple as that.
Yeah, no
like
one
said
about him for his behalf.
And I don't blame the editors for missing this very obscure, holy book reference. I wouldn't have got it until people pointed it out to me. But now that they did...
Yeah, now they did, screw him.
Yeah. Good on the fans for being extra vigilant on this one. It's funny coming on the heels of Marvel being like, I know our diversity books don't sell, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Your diverse fan base just saved your ass on this one, guys.
Yeah, pretty much. God, Marvel, what the hell, man?
Damn it, Marvel!
Damn it, Marvel! Why are your editors well versed in every form of religion on the planet? What in the hell? Like
obscure things happening in Indonesia right now.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, so what is our next topic, Joel?
Well, I thought it was a nice little palate cleanser from that very heavy topic. We talk about something kind of fun and fun here. Hellboy is getting his very own whiskey in small batches. It's going to be called Hellwater, and it's coming out very soon.
Sweet.
That's awesome, man.
It's a cinnamon whiskey, though. Good. I know some people have problems with cinnamon whiskey. How do you feel, Owen, about cinnamon whiskey?
I mean, I'll try it.
Oh, it's good. Dude, cinnamon whiskey
I'm not going to turn down
good.
Whiskey, so...
Dude, cinnamon whiskey, dude, it's the smoothest thing that you're ever going to have. And I live in Kentucky, so we've got Woodford Reserve bourbon, we've got Buffalo Trace, like we've got all different kinds of that stuff. But like cinnamon whiskey is good, dude. It's
like Fireball.
Yeah, like it's really, really smooth. And that cinnamon kick really gives it all kinds of flavor. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
This story, ironically, coming on the heels of Valiant. I see we got some Valiant shirts around here on the show today.
Yes, I do.
Doing their own beer. Should I run and get my Faith shirt? They're doing like their own beer, like Exo Manowar and a couple other characters are getting their own beer. I thought it would be fun to ask the chat and ask you guys here, what hero, if you could pick one, would get their own brand of booze, and what would it be? I think Martian Manhunter should have his own absinthe because he's green.
I already have one. There's a drink called the Incredible Hulk. All right, It is Hennessy and Hypnotic.
Oh,
right. And it is strong, but it is good. Okay. Well, can we tell this story on the podcast?
Which one? Is this about Valiant?
No.
Okay.
No. This isn't about Valiant. So 21 years old. God, this is turning into story time. 21 years old. I go to a bar with my sister, and I get up to the bartender. And I'm like, hey, do you guys have Incredible Hulk? He doesn't know what that is. Incredible Hulk was a mixed drink that a buddy of mine, Jeremy, made at a party. Yeah, and so it was like, all right.
Like a Flaming Moe.
Yeah, it's like bathtub. It's a bathtub cocktail. And so I was like, all right. So I told him what it was. The guy mixed it up perfect and gave me a glass of it. Didn't give me a shot. It's supposed to be a shot. Gave me a glass of it. So I told my sister, I was like, all right, look, this stuff is pretty strong as a shot. In a glass, it's going to be that much stronger. Make sure you pace yourself. She had 3. We had to carry her out of the car and into a Waffle House, because you always got to go to the Waffle House after you go to a bar. So we had to carry her out of the car.
Waffle Houses in my country. I've always wanted to go.
Oh, dude, last call Waffle House.
I'm feeling really left out.
you and me both, man.
We're not missing anything. Waffle Houses are not great.
No, they're not. They're amazing at 2:33 in the morning. Like they're solid. But that was my experience. But it is, if you mix it right, because Hypnotic is like a really light blue kind of drink, and of course Hennessy being brown. If you mix it right, it gives you like this really kind of like vibrant lime green color, and it looks incredible. It looks really, really good.
I was thinking too of another drink, a Black Canary, where it's like, a White Russian, only you use chocolate milk instead of regular milk.
Dude, I would take that, man. I would take that.
I would like to try the small folk beer that Wolverine fostered from Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Yes. That's right.
It's a beer that's older than civilization itself. I'll try that.
I don't even drink it. I try it.
They've been brewing it for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think of ones now. I'm definitely not googling superhero themed beers.
Oh, dude, you know what? Dude, we need to do that, guys.
Yeah.
Like the Weekly Pool needs to go on a road trip across the country and just try superhero themed alcohol. That would be amazing, dude. I would do that. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
The Wonder Woman.
Weekly Pool needs a beer. I was like, yeah,
No,
man.
dude, get like the Wonder Woman, man. It's like the Wonder Woman would be like a martini of some kind or something like that.
Yeah,
And
there'd be a whole thing of girly drinks. Think about like a Harley Quinn. You could have like that cotton candy flavored Faygo with like crushed up candy around the rim.
yeah, do a national bar crawl. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a bar crawl starting in Jersey and working all the way to LA.
Gee, Sal, you and I don't really drink. That would be rough for us. It's like, yes, Coke Zeros for me and my friend.
That's right. Yes.
All they drink.
Only the loftiest of beverages for me and my roguish babes.
We'd be the like designated drivers dragging Benny and Rob's drunk asses out of the bar. Come on.
Oh, it would be bad. It would be really bad.
Go to Waffle House.
Yeah,
Fine,
and then we can go to the Waffle House.
Yeah.
I just order a pint of Iron Fist, which you're not sure how you feel about it when you're drinking it, but afterwards has a really horrible aftertaste, and you don't want another one.
That's a very apt description, Owen.
That's
You
exactly
the
it.
right one for this show.
The specialty Iron Fist drink is called the Seven Heavenly Cities, and it's just like it's a flight of Iron Fist stuff.
Matt Fraction actually comes to the bar and mixes it for you and goes, "Yeah, when I do it, it's pretty good, huh?"
Yeah. For your whole 24 issues, Matt Fraction, it was amazing. Wish you'd been on it
But you
longer.
wish I worked here every night.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you also like to try my short-lived Iron Man? This is good. I feel a lot of people forgot about this.
What would an Iron Man beer, like what would an Iron Man alcoholic drink be? That's the real question. Like,
Even
what
in
would
a
it be?
bottle, and it would just be a bottle of whiskey with his picture on it, with him looking all horrified.
That's actually pretty funny.
I gotta give credit to my buddy Matt for that when he came up with that one.
Yeah, you've just got to get the demon in a bottle cover on the bottle.
Joker
That's like
my
you drink
drink.
responsibly, like warning.
Oh, okay. So here's a question. Like, what is that? Like Jaeger bombs. If you were to Jokerize your drink, you could get like some purple-looking alcohol and just Jaeger bomb it, and just mix it in and then just shoot it. Like that would be pretty solid. Jaeger's not green, is it? Is Jaeger green?
No, it's like a brownie.
That's
colour.
what I thought. I thought it was kind of like a brownish color. Well, you'd have to do Jaeger and then Hypnotic and then do like a purple drink.
What's
This is
that?
gonna be a
Greek
crazy
stuff?
road trip, guys.
Yeah.
What's that?
We
Greek
should
stuff
not
that-
be driving.
No, we really shouldn't.
Just Uber
Yeah.
everywhere.
Be a real superhero. Be a designated driver. What's that Greek stuff that tastes like black licorice that I can't stand?
Oh yeah. I don't know what it's called.
You can make a lot of drinks. It's the Black Adam. You put that in there, and you put some other stuff in it.
Oh man! And then of course you would have the Nightwing, which would just be a glass of milk. So
Oh,
that would work. Oh man, dude, the Batman. I don't even want to know. The Batman would just be like this insanely strong.
Coffee.
It'd be Everclear. The Batman.
The darkest liqueurs, dark as the night itself.
Oh man.
What Batman drinks. The Superman would be milk, because it's like, no, true believer, no, true Americans.
No,
No,
the-
I guess he drinks in the movies, doesn't he? Like he always has like a
I mean,
like a
he
bud
got drunk
going
in a bar in Superman 3 and grew
That's
like a
right,
five
that's
o'clock
right.
shadow.
It's totally
He
hammered.
did.
Like
So it'd have to be something. So it'd have to be something that's what is it? Moonshine's as close to pure grain as you can get, right? Like it is pure grain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd just be moonshine then. It would just be. Dude, I tried that once, man. It was it was bad. It tastes terrible. It's bad. Anyway, so keeping this as close to family friendly as we can get. Continuing on our list of topics.
Hey, so remember that book, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe? Hey, remember Deadpool's getting a movie sequel soon? So Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is getting a sequel.
I'm actually really excited. I'm actually really, really excited about this. I love
it
Deadpool
was-
Kills the Marvel Universe.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it's so good.
It's one of the only Deadpool books we ever did on back issues. So yeah, I'm down.
Is it weird I've never read it? Do I need to read it now?
You need to read it.
Oh
It's
yes,
It's awesome.
It's hilarious, man.
Did you read the issue where Deadpool meets Gwenpool?
I have not read that. I have not read. I think I only read the first story arc of All New, All Different Deadpool. I don't even know if I've read all of that yet.
Well, I think it's in a Gwenpool book, but in any case,
okay.
the Deadpool that meets Gwenpool is basically the Deadpool from Deadpool Kills in the Marvel Universe.
No shit.
It's
Wow.
and in that I mean, like, this Deadpool like hates himself, and he's like a nihilist, and he finds out that like he's in a comic book, but instead of being like lol, like, here memes, he goes like, oh, my life's dictated by like losers in a bullpen by themselves in the city, like fuck that, and just goes it just seeks to disprove like existence and its meaningfulness. Like it's dark and cool. I like it.
Yeah. The only thing I would suggest, because with regards to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, Joel, it's part of a trilogy. It's actually called the Deadpool Kilogy.
Right, I knew
but
that.
It's okay. So you got Deadpool Kill Illustrated, which is not very good, and then you have Deadpool Kills Deadpool, which is pretty interesting. But honestly, if you're talking about stories where like Deadpool kills or Deadpool versus people, I would say Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe and Deadpool versus Thanos are two of the best.
Yes.
Like out there in the middle of nowhere Deadpool stories. So
I will.
Deadpool versus Thanos. I'll second that.
I love that story.
I will no doubt make a Deadpool required reading in time for the movie, and that will certainly be on there.
Oh
so
yeah,
there you go.
dude.
Thank
Okay.
you for helping me with that video in advance.
Okay, Owen. So that point where Mistress Death is kidnapped, and like screams to Deadpool for help, and like he's got like a drink in his hand, and he's got an afro and a mustache on his mask. Like that's one of the dude. I love that so much.
That first issue is brilliant because he goes to Doctor Doom's temple and kills him, and then he ends up on an island with a guy with a chicken suit. And it just makes no sense. But if you've not read Deadpool vs. Thanos, go read it because it's brilliant.
It is, man.
Someone who can tolerate small amounts of Deadpool at a time, it's such a good trade.
It's hilarious.
I was very much in the same boat as you, Owen, where it's like, okay, I can deal with Deadpool, but only a little at a time. I'm not going to read everything that comes out. It was really Duggan recently with this new run that turned me around. Like, I never thought I would read a weekly Deadpool series until this one, and he's been doing great work with him across the board because he's also writing Uncanny Avengers. So, like, the last couple arcs of Uncanny have been slightly Deadpool focused. But he actually manages to hammer a character out of him, and it's funny because the way he writes Rogue hates him at the beginning of the book, but Rogue starts to warm up to him in much the same way I started to warm up to the character by the end. Where it's like, you know what, Wade, you're kind of a sad clown, but that's all right.
The interaction between Rogue and Deadpool in the last Uncanny Avengers was something that I never thought I wanted to see until I saw it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I kind of dig that. All right.
Yeah.
And then they remind you about Wonder Man. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, Wonder Man's been trapped in your head since like Remender was writing. Oh yeah.
Man, you poor son of a bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Okay. So to sidetrack for a second, because I want to talk about this for a second. How many of you guys have read Kang War all the way through?
Yeah. Oh, the Time War thing in Avengers. Yeah, I finished that.
Dude. Okay. With that, like, I don't know what the hell Mark Waid's doing, man. Like, he
Either
made
did
it
I.
so complicated.
Yep,
he
you
made
did.
it so hard, and like, I made a video on it, and I was like, okay, look, guys. Here's how time travel works, how it normally works in movies, and then here's how Marvel does it. And so it's like it's Mark Waid, man. He's not a bad writer, but this could have been done so in a far less confusing way.
He's had a weird Kang hair up his ass since All New, All Different Marvel. And I'm like, good, you're done.
Well,
You're
it's been
finished.
longer than that, man. If you ever read like from 10 or 15 years ago, Captain America: Man at a Time, there's only one supervillain in it, and guess who it is?
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
Freaking Kang.
Yeah.
And it's by Mark Waid. I'm like, what is with you and Kang, man?
I
I
don't
will
know.
make Kang happen come hell or high water.
You can't have a time traveling supervillain like he would just do what he did in Kang War. Like,
Well, the only way I could make sense of it is if it was like, it's like every, God, man, even now I don't Jesus, Mark Waid, man, like.
Yeah.
I put my
It's
review
weird.
up last night, and I say to it's kind of hard to get invested in the fate of characters in a time travel story like this, because I know they're just going to get erased and come back, and in the end, everything will be set back and nothing matters. And indeed, in the end, nothing really matters.
Well, they're all taken prisoner, and that's the problem. It's almost like he was trying to do like a Spider-Verse with Kang the Conqueror in the story, where it's like, here's all the versions of me from different points in time, and we all have different personalities. It's like, but I mean, unless you have multiple personality disorder, like like they should all be you. So like you should all think the same way and do the same thing and that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, maybe it's kind of this feel that it's all like different universe possibilities and so on and so forth. And it's just it seems to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And so it was like, try as I might, I tried to make it as much sense as I could, but in the end, like they're all just kind of tossed into like this little jar prison thing, and then now it's like, well, Kang the Conqueror's future will be determined. It's like, why did they just like kill him?
It's even sillier than Rob is making it. Hank Pym, who is in this story, because new Avengers recruit the old Avengers, finds a Deus Ex Machina ball that can steal a person's future, and it's like, oh, I'll just put Kang in this. Okay, problem solved. Take him out, everybody.
So now the only Kang that exists is the one that's born in like the 25th century or 28th century or something like that. I don't remember what it is. I think I'm confusing him with Eobard Thawne. Anyway, he's like whichever one is just born. It's like, well, now his future is left uncertain because it's weird because Vision's like, I have a genius idea. In order to keep Kane from like attacking us and becoming a bad guy, I'm gonna like move him away. I'm gonna kidnap him. Well, then because he kidnapped him, it set all these events into motion. So now he's like, okay, I don't remember who it was that he tasked. I want to say it was Wasp that he tasked it with, but he was like, you have to go put Kang back. And so it's like
the baby back. This is the time baby thing that Tiff endlessly makes fun of me for on the poll, me trying to explain the time baby. I'm like, no, it's a good idea for a story. It's like if you could go back in time and like mentor Hitler to like not become Hitler, would you do it? But it's like Nazi time baby Hitler.
It's weird. It's out there. Anyway, I just kind of had to clear my head of that because, God, that story's confusing as hell. Mark Waid, what are you doing, man? Like,
I'm glad it's done. Now do other non-Kang related things, please.
He's gonna do more Kang. It's gonna be Kang from a different universe now.
Yeah. Well, apparently the next one is Infamous Iron Man. We're gonna actually see Infamous Iron Man maybe join up with this event.
Oh, that's right.
I'm jumping on with that.
Oh, dude, I loved Infamous Iron Man. Oh
so
my God,
good.
it's good.
Although maybe this will frighten you because one of the little continuity, little connectors Wade does in this, it says, hey, remember like way back in Fantastic Four when they implied that Richards or Doom may actually be long removed descendants of Kang?
I remember them saying that Doom was a descendant, or that Kang was a descendant of Doom, like way back in like '84. But
Doom is one of the personalities that shows up alongside Crimson Centurion and
cool. I like that. Yay!
Yeah.
It was the one genuinely cool moment because it's funny. Even the Avengers are confused. They're like, "Why is Doctor Doom here?" And no one answers the question.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, so back onto our topics. We're kind of getting out into left field.
That's fine. We only really have one more topic left, so please, by all means, let us rant and rave and sidebar.
If I can just interject a second, and this is not on the topic list, but
please, you're the guest.
A few people mention it looks like, and don't take my word as gospel because this may be fake, that at an expo or event in Japan today, some form of Spider-Man Homecoming footage has been shown that seems to reveal the Daily Bugle.
Nice.
There's a photo here of the newspaper, and people on Twitter, which is always a reliable source for information, is saying that Gwen Stacy's been confirmed for the movie. Again, this is not any sort of confirmation, but...
Well, I'll take a look here, because...
Gwen take two, this time with feeling.
So let me tell you, because like Marvel Cinematic, I want the Daily Bugle so bad, and I was so excited because like when we met Ben Urich in Daredevil, where I'm like, yes, bring in the Daily Bugle, and then no,
damn it,
it was Frontline they used in Netflix, wasn't it? Or was it something else?
Bulletin?
Something else, like it's just a regular newspaper, but
okay. No, see, that's going to be a disappointing thing, too, is that, like, now Ben Urich's dead. Like, I feel like maybe somewhere along the line, like, once the Sony deal was worked out, like Feige was like, okay, guys, we're going to bring in the Daily Bugle, and then we're going to grab Ben Urich, and then, what's his name? I don't remember who it is that's running the whole thing on the TV side anymore. But he's like, no, you're not. I'm going to kill him. And, like, it's just, and then they kill him off. And it's just like, really? Like, Jeff Lowe. I was like, why would you do that, Jeff Lowe? He's like, nope, not so fast. Like, he's dead now. So it's like, well, you know what? We have Thanos with the Infinity Stone, so we'll just resurrect him and then throw him on there. J. Jonah Jameson is like the one thing we need for Spider-Man: Homecoming. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I don't even know if they've cast anybody to play J. Jonah Jameson yet.
So far, no one.
They need to bring back J.K. Simmons. There's not a single person who would bat an eye and say, "Oh, yeah." I would be down with it.
No one would complain. But he's Gordon now.
That's the problem. I would say either get him or get Lewis Black. That's my other pitch. Get Lewis Black. What?
Bring back.
Man's good at yelling.
Bring back. God, what was his name? Who was the one that played Captain Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man 2?
James Cromwell.
No. He didn't play Captain Stacy. The father of Gwen Stacy.
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. He'd be a great J. Jonah Jameson. I'd love him.
Yeah.
Like, I love him as J. Jonah Jameson. Okay, then fine. Dream casting. All right, like who would you have to play J. Jonah Jameson if it wasn't J.K. Simmons?
I mean, my go-to is always what's his name, Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's pretty good.
That's big money.
So you'd be like, Parker, I need pictures of Spider-Man. If I told you pictures of Spider-Man, you would agree. And he'd just be so intense, but it wouldn't be comical.
No.
Oh God, Terry Crews.
He's so method, Daniel Day-Lewis. He would need to actually open a small New York-based paper for like a year to really get into character.
I could see that too. I could see like Daniel Day-Lewis's own newspaper, and it's like I'm a method actor. I'm working into the character. I'm just like yelling at people on the street. My employees are quitting all the time.
You know, what would be a great J. Jonah Jameson? It would be very weird, but he'd be fun. Like, it's just a great fun actor. I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. I don't know if he would be great, but because I don't think. No, never mind. He's in a Marvel movie. Never mind. I withdraw.
Who are you talking about?
Never mind.
They haven't gotten Cranston for anything yet. I could see Cranston kind of slipping on into the role because he can be scary and he can yell and be authoritative.
I would save Cranston to be a villain. Like,
you're right.
That's what I would do. I would hold him as a bad guy. I would hold him as like the Magus if they ended up doing Adam Warlock in Guardians 3. Yeah, I would hold him for any number of roles to play. Hugh Laurie wouldn't be a bad J. Jonah Jameson. Hugh Laurie seems a bit too calm and doesn't seem as excitable as J. Jonah Jameson would be. See, that's the problem, man. Like, J.K. Simmons was such a good Jameson that it's like, I can't see anybody else playing it besides him. Yeah, Black Hat from Westworld. Who was it that played Black Hat in Westworld? That was Ed Harris, wasn't it?
Ed Harris.
Yeah, dude.
Real good.
Ed Harris would be good.
Choice.
He'd be a great Jameson.
Doesn't look his age, does he?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Dude, I love this character.
You might have to go somewhat slightly out of left field because although you do want to kind of be faithful to the source material, J.K. Simmons not only nailed the source material, but he kind of took it the extra notch.
He did.
So maybe going someone different, like maybe someone like a Louis C.K. who can kind of do the humour, but can also bring a bit of seriousness to him. But it would be a very different take.
It'd be hard to not see Louis C.K. when you saw him.
Yeah.
You got to divorce the actor from the character. That's the hard part.
You could throw people out like...
Yeah. Simmons disappeared into the role. When you looked at him, you only saw J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. See, that's the issue. Like, people talk about like Bryan Cranston playing a villain, and it's like no matter what villain he plays, he's going to have to be Heisenberg if he's going to be a villain, because that's all I can see him as is Heisenberg. So
I want him to be Peter's chemistry teacher.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Would be cool. That would
Who then
cool.
becomes a supervillain. Like, he pulls him
you're
aside and he's
pitching
like,
for the lizard, huh?
He's like, I know the business, you know the chemistry.
That is the
And
thing.
he's like, Aunt May, this weird man's trying to make me sell drugs.
Peter, it's time to cook lizard formula.
You know who I haven't gotten yet, who I fear they're never going to get in these Marvel movies, so they might as well just cast him? Tom Hanks.
God, who would Tom Hanks play?
Tom Hanks is too nice to be J. Jonah Jameson.
Have you, like, I'm trying to think of him. I'm thinking about like when he played Hanratty in Catch Me If You Can, where he's not like
That's one of my favorite movies.
He's really funny and he's really sarcastic, and I'm just like throw that at him and have him just be like Google or YouTube the scene in Catch Me If You Can. Just write Catch Me If You Can, knock knock.
Oh, when they're riding in the car and he tries to tell a joke. Yeah.
Like to hear me tell a joke.
No, see,
It's a shame they don't have the Watcher. I could see Tom Hanks as the Watcher.
Well, see, if they hadn't killed off, or if they hadn't introduced Ben Urich already and then killed him off, I could see Tom Hanks playing Ben Urich, in the movies. The only issue with that is he would shine best as Ben Urich if Ben Urich was like an ongoing character in the movies. So like he was always appearing over the course of like 4 or 5 movies. Then it would really flesh his character out. But in terms of like like Road to Perdition, Tom Hanks, if it was like a one movie thing, then it wouldn't be too stellar. But okay, so here's something else that I was thinking about too. Somebody that I was thinking about casting. I don't know what role I would put him in, but if we were talking about like 1998, like maybe 1997, 1998, Tom Sizemore. Like cast him in anything. Like I wouldn't. I could see him being a Spider-Man villain. You know, like Mysterio. Maybe somebody with a face like Electro. I could see him being like Electro.
He could be the Rhino. He'd be pretty.
That'd be good.
He would be. But that was cool because he was so intense back then, like so hardcore. It was like, damn, like Saving Private Ryan, like Tom Sizemore, he's a badass. Like it'd be pretty cool. But
man had a mohawk even later on in his career, which is pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tom Hanks would be like that would be a great addition to the MCU, because I think that one of the biggest problems that the MCU has right now is you have great actors in there. Chris Evans is definitely shown his acting chops in terms of the roles that he can play. When it comes, like Robert Downey Jr. basically started the whole thing, when he's clearly, stepped into the role. For me, I kind of feel like despite a lot of the great heavy hitters that have been in it so far, there's still like some illegitimacy that's tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like, yeah, they have some great actors, but at the end of the day, they're comic book movies. I mean, they're not going to get anybody like great
They got what's his name, Anthony Hopkins.
That's true.
Yeah,
Shakespeare and Anthony Hopkins.
That's true.
Blanchett.
Exactly, but then you turn around. That's why I say like they're grabbing huge actors, because I mean, aside from Anthony Hopkins, aside from Cate Blanchett, name any other Academy Award-winning actors that are in that movie. Well, maybe with the exception of, do what?
Does Natalie Portman have an Academy Award? I don't think so.
I think she has to at this point, doesn't she?
No, I'm sorry. I think she won one for Black Swan. Did she win one for that?
So.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay, so you've got 3 Academy Award winners in there.
But she's pretty underserved in those Thor movies.
Oh yeah, no, they did not hire Natalie Portman because she could act the hell out of Jane Foster.
Yeah, but see, guys, I'm talking about people like those of you guys in the chat. I'm talking about actors that are going to be around for any measure of time. Like, yeah, you got Robert Redford, and he was gone like that. Like we're getting Brie Larson, but she's another example of how Marvel's reaching out to like bigger actors with bigger names. Because I think that Marvel's kind of looking and saying, okay, look, when it was 2007, 2008, and it was Iron Man 1, it was like, okay, this is a gamble. Nobody's going to know if it's going to work. When it was the Incredible Hulk, when it was Captain America, Thor, so on and so forth, people were like, okay, this is going places. We're coming up on the Infinity War. And so I think at this point, Marvel's like, look, we've proven that we're a legitimate movie publishing house. Like, I think we're worthy of Academy Award-winning material around here. And I think that they're kind of getting out to the point now where they're like, let's start grabbing some Academy Award-winning actors to beef up our already great, acting roster. So
does Norton count? He was there and then he was gone.
No, Edward Norton doesn't count.
But I think Ed Norton is one of those reasons why they didn't want to get bigger actors, because it's like, oh shit, this guy's got a name and credentials and he demands final cut.
Yeah, but that's also Edward Norton.
Yeah, I mean, his reputation had to precede him.
Al Pacino obviously does not demand final cut.
He just wants a really cool speech.
He just wants to be in it.
That's it. Get Al Pacino and it's J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, dude, Spider-Man!
Pull it off.
Spider-Man, let me tell you something, Spider-Man. Who are you carrying all those spider webs around for anyway, huh?
That Betty Branch had a great ass.
Dude, I mean, okay, so if you were going to cast Al Pacino in a role that's not J. Jonah Jameson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what role would you cast him in? Chat, this goes to you two. I want to know, who would you cast Al Pacino in if you were going to give him a role?
Terax the Tamer. I'm Terax the Tamer.
I would make him Mephisto. I would take Doggy Triple X's thing. I'd make him Mephisto. He'd be good.
That's really good.
There was talks at one point about him being in talks to play Star-Lord's father before they got Kurt Russell. Which would have been cool.
That would have been great. Disappointing.
Yeah. Marvel technically had Bill Paxton, too. He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they had him.
Yeah, they did.
Al Pacino was the Hobgoblin. He's a little old to play the role of the
I don't know about
Hobgoblin.
Hey, I'm Harry Osborn. Why don't you love me anymore, Dad?
Hobgoblin isn't Harry Osborn. God damn it, Joel.
I know. I'm saying in the dumb movie universe, it would be that way, where it's like we gotta be like, oh, we can't name the other characters.
Yeah.
Scarface kills the Marvel Universe.
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah.
Al Pacino
I would watch
We
it.
have
as Miles Morales.
having him play. He should have played.
Well, Al Pacino is Miles Morales.
Sorted.
I just hear that out of left field. Owen's like, Al Pacino is Miles Morales. I'm like, really?
It would be so weird. No one could be offended. They'd be like, all right, scent of a woman, dog day afternoon. All right.
Yeah.
That's why I say he's got to have that huge impassioned speech at the end, where he just like rants on, but not a snitch. He's got to just go on for a little while.
I'm Hydro Man. I'm everywhere.
But everything else in that movie would be the same. Like, everything else from Miles' story would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just Al Pacino would be in the role.
Literally everything else in the movie the same. Have everyone else think Miles Morales is Miles Morales in the movie, but we just see Al Pacino.
Dude, I'd love to see that. Like, Peter Parker, what's your motto here? It'd be amazing. No, actually, okay. So I have a casting thought for Doctor Doom. Because somebody mentioned Al Pacino as Doctor Doom. And I can't even remember his name anymore. The guy who played Night Fox in Ocean's 12. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember
Cassell, right?
Yeah, there we go. I would cast him as Dr. Doom.
He looks exactly like him,
He
because
looks
that's
just
what
like
the
him.
artist was doing in Iron Man.
See,
before
that's-
that guy makes him look like actors.
Yeah, dude, like, I would cast him. No, because I didn't even think about it until I saw it.
And creepy.
Exactly. I didn't think about it until I saw it. And I was like, God, he looks a lot like Vincent Cassell. Like, dude, I would cast him as Dr. Doom. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, he'd be a good Victor, I think.
Here's a good one, too, because he's been in everything and he hasn't been in a Marvel thing, and I think he would actually do good as J. Jonah, because I buy his authority. Baldwin as J. Jonah Jameson. It would just be...
there you go.
Yeah.
Dude, 30 Rock,
30
Alec
Rock,
Baldwin.
Just do 30 Rock.
Dude, I would do that. Dude, right there, man.
That shit just came to me. And he's been killing it on Saturday Night Live recently. I don't know if you guys saw the last one, but he was Trump and O'Reilly all at the same time.
Dude, I would, Alec, 30 Rock, Alec. Could you imagine him, like, trying to teach Peter, like, these life lessons?
Oh, my God.
It'd be hilarious.
Peter, just puts his arm around him. Peter,
He just call him Parker. Parker, let me tell you something, Parker.
you know what it takes? You know what it takes to take great Spider-Man photos? It takes brass balls. To take Spider-Man.
It's like, Jonah, why are you wearing a tuxedo? It's after 5 o'clock. What am I, a farmer?
Always be snapping, Peter. Always be snapping.
Always be snapping.
Somebody pointed out that Pacino should have played Silvermane. Yeah.
Who the hell is Silvermane? I don't even know who that is.
Spider-Man gangster.
Yeah, Silvio Silvermane.
He's just a...
Dude, you say that like I'm supposed to know who he is, Joel. I have no idea. Telling me his first name doesn't help. Like, I have no idea who that guy is.
You've never met Silvio Silvermane? He's a great guy.
He could be a cool mobster villain for Spider-Man. They'll never do Silvermane. No, they did do Silvermane. They did his ancestor in the Peggy Carter miniseries.
That's right, with the Magia. We did get...
I was like, what is happening? That was cool.
People
Harrison Ford.
underappreciated.
Tiffany says Harrison Ford is J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Harrison Ford, as he would put, I don't want to do any more of that nerd shit. I don't want to do anything else people ask me at cons.
Let me tell you something.
Dude, he'd be an intense. Like,
Yeah,
you think he was going to kill Peter
That'd be
Parker.
great.
It's like,
He's always growling anyway.
it'd be funny.
DeVito. Yes, Dan DeVito is J. Jonah Jameson.
That's fine, too.
Oh, God.
Are we
I'll
talking like
accept that.
Penguin Danny DeVito or like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
It's
Danny
always sunny
DeVito?
in Philadelphia. Like, that's the one we
Fair
need.
play.
The one with, like, sausages in his pocket, Danny DeVito. That's
I
what we
hate the troll toll, Peter.
Oh, man.
Topics left besides J. Jonah Jameson.
No,
Yes,
I
we
think...
got one more,
Oh,
but
okay.
this was too good.
I was like, I think we're just going to shoot the shit at this point.
So hey, you know Freeform, they're threatening to start their own Marvel TV universe. They've got Cloak and Dagger coming out very soon.
Yeah.
Well, I assume soon. I have no idea. I'm just making up shit at this point. They also have the New Warriors as well, and apparently someone involved in the production of that saying, yeah, we're really excited about New Warriors. We want it to be like a hip, new, young team of heroes, and we think it has great crossover and spin-off potential. I personally would love to see Squirrel Girl get something off the back, but I'm like, and as just a comic fan, I'm like, okay, so you're going to do a New Warriors show that you hope will launch Squirrel Girl into something. More power to you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of feel like if there were any team that I would see could be a legitimate TV show, It would be the New Warriors, as long as we're talking about like Civil War New Warriors, where they're literally launching their own reality TV show. That I could see being the case, because right now reality TV shows are still popular for whatever reason I can't understand, but they still are, and that would actually fit in perfect. Now, outside of that, I have a very difficult time, and when I say very difficult, I mean I do not see it happening at all. I have a very difficult time seeing Squirrel Girl getting any TV show that would last any measure of time.
Needs a cartoon. She needs 11 minutes Steven Universe where she can have fun, wacky adventures. That's what she needs.
Yeah, let me go back to the days of like backup episodes, like just have her like in the tail end for 5 minutes.
Well, that's the way all cartoons are now. Even Justice League Action, which sadly also got the axe recently, is only 11 minutes.
Huh. I saw Justice League Action on the Cartoon Network app, and I was like, I'm not gonna, because it looks. Do I need to watch that? Is it good?
You don't have to watch it.
I would say you do. The art style sucks. It's very cheap, but they got some genuinely good jokes in there. You got like Deanie and people we actually like involved in it, so like they know their shit. There's some funny references. They do a whole episode where Batman and Blue Beetle go back in time to like the first night Batman put on the costume, and they have to like stop Kronos from messing with the first Batman adventure. And they literally pay homage to the classic opening to Batman the Animated Series, where he's standing up and the lightning bolt hits and everything.
Wow. Yeah. No, Tevye. No, we do not need a Power Pack TV show. Tevye was like, we need Power Pack. No, we don't.
You do.
I would watch I have a little bit of a soft spot for the Power Pack, so I would watch a Power Pack show, or at least I'd watch the first few minutes. But no, we don't need a Power Pack show.
Well, then you watch the first few minutes of Power Pack, and you tell me what you think. I'll just take your word for it, because I would never watch a Power Pack show.
Yeah, I'll use my portal gun and go to an alternate reality where that shit exists.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be weird. But yeah, no. Power Pack featuring the Punisher. God, doesn't that start in September? The actual Punisher show.
They just wrapped filming, so soon, right? Sorry, guys.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that. There was that big, fan poster that everyone just assumed was real, and a bunch of the sites ran with it.
Yeah.
It looked pretty solid too. I mean, it looked pretty stellar. Yeah, I think they linked it to the guy who made it. It was like his digital, not digital. It was his DeviantArt account or something like that. Where he made it. But it was really well done. Like, I mean, I'd hire that guy to start making movie posters of Horror Marvel. Like.
Right.
I'd be like, that's pretty solid.
That's the day and age we live in. The fan fakes are getting harder to tell apart from the real ones, and then you'll get real ones that don't look as good as the fan ones. You'll be like, oh, should have hired those fan guys to make yours.
Yeah.
It's like they're not standing looking at something in the foreground like every other movie poster.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
I don't know. But anyway, guys, we're kind of nearing that time where we are wrapping up the episode. This is the end. Untimely end, my friends.
Yay.
The end. So, since Owen is our guest, we usually you're probably familiar with podcasts, so all the good stuff about what you do, and remind all the people who are here now that weren't here at the beginning of the episode, and all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome. If you like hearing my voice, you can listen to big chunks of it on the internet at youtube.com/Owen Likes Comics. We do videos every Friday about comic books and movies and TV shows. It's a good time, I've heard people say. I guess. Make your own mind up. Twitter.com/Owen Likes Comics. And thanks for having me on the show, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Thanks for being on, dude. This is awesome. Apparently we missed 3 splooges, so splooge. Who are the splooges that we missed?
This is a thing he does.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not going to question it. We'll just
yeah. So whenever somebody subs, like we always do a splooge. I didn't mean for it to start. It just like I did it one day, and then the chat was just like, and now you have to keep doing it forever. So I just never stopped. But yeah, man. So Sal, Joel, what do you guys have?
What's happening?
Yep, what's happening?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what's happening. Over on ComicPOP, if you swing on over, we chat a little bit about X-Men Gold #1 and Off the Rack. This week we're going to have an Elseworlds Exchange, which is a live show on Wednesdays. And on Wednesday night, Eastern Standard Time, over here in America, you will catch an episode of Back Issues where Tiffany gives us a rundown on Monsters Unleashed, the event that you never read that just came out. Don't worry, because now there's a whole episode of Back Issues dedicated to it. So just watch the show.
Dude, I saw your Twitter poll, like where you tweeted out, like, how many of you read Monsters Unleashed? And it was like 95% of people said no.
I was like, it's unbelievable how low it was. I'm like, really?
I really want to see what the what Comic-Con says with the monthly sales. Like, I really want to see what those numbers are for like issues 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like,
wrong event at the wrong time.
Man. Yeah. I'm really curious to see what the sales numbers are, because I have a feeling they'll be lucky to break 30,000 by the time it comes to a close. So, or by the time it ended, anyway. Joel, my man.
Well, thank you. So, yeah, if you
awesome. So,
solid. Shut up, Joel. But yeah, if you head on over to my channel tomorrow morning, which is Wednesday, Matt and I tried recording a live episode of the Comic Multiverse. Was kind of a buffering shit show because it was our first time and we didn't really know what to do. But hey, guess what? We got the good, clean backup audio anyway, so you can listen to it and hear some of your questions we answered there tomorrow. Check that out.
Nice.
Awesome. I don't even know what I have coming out this weekend. I think it's Daredevil. I don't know. I think I just cranked those out for the sake of having them out there. I don't expect them to do well. I'm just doing it for the sake of continuity. And then I have...
like Marvel.
Yeah, I have. Sometimes you just got to make that sacrifice when you're putting videos out. You got to do videos that people want to see, even though you know won't really perform well. But there's those fans that just want to see it. And then I'm doing Injustice 2 Origins, which is going to compensate for the lack of views for Daredevil. And Injustice 2 Origins this week, I think, is Atrocitus from the Red Lanterns. So that'll be fun. Okay, so fun fact, like that was actually an idea that cropped up when Benny and I were just kind of kicking around ideas on what we were going to do for Injustice, because he's doing Ground Zero. And so I was like, well, since you're so close to doing Ground Zero, I'm just going to hold off and I'll try to figure out something instead. But I was like, well, we're getting a whole new roster of heroes. Like, I'll just grab Origins and just do Origins for those heroes so people know how they got their powers or where they came from. And maybe maybe it'll stay consistent, maybe it won't. But like, yeah, that was just kind of a funny situation. So
yeah.
Kind of weird. But anyway, guys, Owen, did you tell them what you have coming up this weekend, or did you just tell them about your channel?
I've got a video out this week. I'm still in the process of editing it, but it will be up this week, talking about Marvel and the great history with going bankrupt almost.
Yeah.
I'm sure Joel knows all about that. It's a shit show.
Dude, it's bad, man. Like, it's... man.
Yeah.
Marvel in the mid-90s, God, it's a wonder they even survived.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm also planning on doing a video on The Simpsons, because I love The Simpsons. We're doing a video on why does The Simpsons seem to predict the future all the time. So we're going to try and unearth that mystery, which will be fun.
The Illuminati's running The Simpsons.
Matt Groening is the Illuminati.
All myself.
Confirmed.
All right, guys. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Not this video. Hell, we're going to wrap up this live stream, this episode. Yeah, I guess it was a video. We're going to wrap this episode of the Weekly Pull up.
I'm going to wrap up the whole series.
And we are now done with the Weekly Pull podcast.
Thank you, Owen, for coming to the last one.
Make sure you guys come back every Tuesday at 6 p.m. over here on Twitch to catch new episodes of the Weekly Pull podcast. And make sure you guys come back on Thursdays at 6 p.m. to catch us, or catch like Tiffany and Joel, and maybe sometimes Joel and Sal, and maybe Sal's there. I don't know. Anyway, catch Tiffany. Tiffany's running the show. Tiffany cracking the whip on everybody with regards to our discussions on comic books, which again, Thursdays is strictly the Pull podcast, focusing really only on comic books instead of the Weekly Pull, which focuses on geek culture. You can find me at Comics Explain on Twitter. Sal, you can find at Sal Says What. Joel, you can find at Caped Joel. And Owen, where can they find you?
Just Owen Likes Comics. Keep it simple.
Awesome. Keeping it simple, man. All right, guys, we are going to bounce off here, and we will catch you all later. Peace.